Hi Libra, this is your March 2019 reading. Libra, in March we have a beautiful new moon and a beautiful full moon at the end of the month. But both the new moon as well as the full moon is very much focused on your work and career. There is some amount of change required in the way you're handling a project, or in the way you're handling a co-worker, or in the way you're handling your leadership style overall. And there is a change, a shift in direction, a shift in approach that is shown to you either through an issue that is created in a project that you're working, or some amount of delay or friction that is created in terms of finishing that project. It could be that your overall approach to your career, to what you're doing and who you want to become, might also shift as a part of that, because Pluto and South Node are finally coming together around 5th or 6th of April, and we start feeling that major impact at the middle of this month itself. This is an aspect that I've been talking about for a long time, where Saturn, Pluto and South Node, they're sitting together in your house of security, and they're asking you to sort of cut cord from an old way of being, which is stopping you from bringing your full power, full strength into your career. Pluto, South Node and Saturn, they together want to release any hindrance to you being able to become the leader who you truly want to become. The strength in your leadership style, the dedication in your leadership style needs to come out in the open in terms of the public affairs, in terms of the public image that you project to the world. So whatever is the hindrance in the way of that needs to go. There is a detox of the way we are handling people, detox in the way we are handling our leadership style that happens. And there is a Marie Kondo kind of a detox that is happening of your environment, of your approach, of the way you handle your career as a part of this Pluto South Node coming together from the middle of this month all the way to start of April. There will be 2 full moon in your sign, which is very rare. One full moon in your sign will be happening around 20th or 21st of this month in March, and then another full moon in your sign will be happening next month. So the focus is very much on you, the light is very much on you and your leadership style and the way you deliver your whole personality to the job that you're working on. So this is a chance for us to sort of get ahead of the game, make a mark and sort of bring something to conclusion which is significant, and it is helpful in terms of your North Node in the 10th house objective that you have of this month, this year, of making your career more prominent and more relevant and more impactful to some extent for the contribution that you make to the world. So you're trying to come up on the top of your career. And Libra of our generation will do that, because Saturn, Pluto, South Node, they're giving you the strength, the internal strength to deliver your full personality to whatever you put your heart to. And right now you're putting your heart into your career. With North Node in your 10th house, this is the year to give attention to your career. This is the year to get rid of any kind of fears, any kind of inhibition that we have. And Pluto and South Node take away any inhibition that stands between you and your ability to deliver success to your career or to the public image that you project to the environment that you're part of. So at the end of the month, the full moon is a very lucrative full moon that is happening in your sun, in your sign, because it's coming with your planet Venus making a positive aspect with Jupiter. This is a very lucky, very positive, very financially lucrative culmination of something that you've been working on for the last 6 months. We also have Uranus moving into your house of joint resources and intimacy. So there is some excitement being added into our love life, into our intimacy house, as well as new ideas coming through in the area of finances beyond your job. How can you make revenue out of other sources of income? So that thought process starts with Uranus moving into Taurus, and it's a long journey, but during the course of this month and the next couple of months, because it has just entered Taurus, you will feel the shift in your outlook and new epiphanies coming in terms of how you can generate more resources and revenue out of what you do. So let's dig into the details of things. I'll just warn about one thing. Mercury is retrograde most of this month. So there will be temptations to overreact to certain situations. There will be emotional impetus, sort of an emotional high which might be presented in some situations where people will get too emotional or too one-sided, black or white. That's where your core strength and your ability to bring balance to situations will be of meaningful value. Your ability to be objective in such situations and being able to see beyond the current strife will come to value, and I believe that you will be able to fare very well in that. So looking beyond if there are any emotionally charged up situations that are presented, especially with co-workers or at work, because things are not moving as fast as you like them to, that is something I'd like you to be careful about. And this is where our response to such situations and our maturity in our leadership style is tested. So just be careful of that. Let's dig into the details of month. I'm looking forward to the 2 beautiful full moons we have in your sign, which will deliver, in my view, something of value to you. Let's dig in. Let's first look at the 3 long-standing aspects which will impact you during the course of this month and beyond. The first is Mercury Retrograde, which is happening in your house of routines, day-to-day routines, work as well as health routines. There is some amount of efficiency that needs to be added, some amount of rework that is required to bring your health routines up to the mark, as well as your work environment to the point where you like it, where you like it beyond just existence, where you like it in the sense that it's more soul fulfilling to you. The work that you're doing needs to be more fulfilling to you. The environment in which you are at work needs to be more fulfilling to you. There is a concept called KonMari method, which is a Japanese method which Marie Kondo became popular for. And in that concept, it is sort of expected that we look at the clutter in our life to some extent and figure out what are the things that truly bring us joy and that don't. So there is a decluttering required in the way a project is being handled at work, or your overall work environment, or your overall priorities that you have in life right now in terms of your career and your health, in order to bring more organization and more order into it. And that's what Mercury Retrograde this month is about. It is about adding quality to your health routines, adding quality to your work environment, so it can be more fulfilling and efficient for you. You're looking to sort of get a better understanding of what fulfills you at work. What are the issues? If there is a project that has been going on and it's not getting off the ground, you might be able to figure out what is the blockage, because there might be a shift in approach that is required. When Mercury, the planet that rules our thinking mind, it goes retrograde, we are shown a different side of an issue. We're shown a different way of handling an issue. And here the issue could be a project not coming to culmination, or you not enjoying the work that you're doing, or a health issue. And you might see the other side of it during the course of Mercury Retrograde. The first 2 weeks of the month might be more focused on looking backward and maybe reworking something, that or a rework of an old project, or rework of an old thing that you were working on previously. Maybe a creative project comes back to light in order for you to rehandle, and there is a reorganization approach, a decluttering of approach that is required. There might be an old co-worker as well who might come back in your life in order to sort of remind you what you're missing or what you want more in your career. And there might be some even friction created in the work environment in order to highlight that, because you are being asked, this is like a wake-up call. This is like a wake-up call for us to stop, gain perspective in terms of where we are going and are we handling our day-to-day routine in the most efficient manner, so our health is taken care of and our work is taken care of. And that usually comes with a chaos. There is usually a chaos in our inability to handle the two things together, or our inability to sort of cope with the busyness that it brings sometimes. And we feel in that moment that we need to stop for a moment, gain perspective, and figure out, how do I declutter my life? And that is where you need to identify which of these routines truly add to you. What are the projects that are actually going to help you grow forward? What are the health routines that you need to set up to make sure that your body reacts in the way you want it to? What is nagging and is unattended in your health habit right now? There might be a health issue that you're ignoring. There might be a unhealthy eating habit, which Libra normally do not have. You're usually particular about your diet. But because of the rush of things or too many things coming through, we might be ignoring something in our health, and that needs to be looked at as a part of this Mercury retrograde. And there will be epiphanies, there will be messaging, there'll be a clarity that comes in the middle of this month, around 14th of this month, where you understand how to unplug something and move forward. There might be something that you were missing earlier. There might have been a miscommunication in terms of expectation with a project, or miscommunication in the way the co-workers and you discussed about how to move forward in a project. That might come to light, so you can resolve that. And after 14th of the month, you have such beautiful aspects to resolve any issues which might have come up. You'll feel very, very powerful and enlightened to actually move forward in a very, very authentic, powerful and positive way to resolve any issues related to work, and you'll bring them to conclusion. But at this point in time, that might be the thought process that things are not going in the direction or at the speed I want them to go. And that is usual. There is a repair of something required, a rejuvenation of health required, and this is the time, this is the month to research new diets if you've not been happy with your health in some ways, or you might have had some nagging health issues, because Neptune is there in your house of health. I've been talking about it in the last couple of videos as well. Neptune tends to weaken our immune system, it tends to weaken our lymphatic system as well and cause certain issues. So if you've been feeling that your immunity or your immune system is not up to the par, this is a great month to research new diet ideas, new detox ideas, figuring out how do you want to set up a health routine that is more beneficial to you, that fits in well with your work at this point in time, because work is taking a lot of time as well. So but this is not the month to start a new diet. When Mercury is retrograde, we try to avoid initiating new projects, initiating a new work project, initiating a new job, initiating a new health routine. We try to avoid that. We research forward, and then in April we implement it. But at this point in time, you might get information about it. You get people, you interact with people who give you information about it. There might be people at work who give you information about how to handle this project better, and it's a great time to reach out to certain people, because Venus is making a positive aspect to you. So if you reach out to people, you'll get ideas, they will support you. You have to make the effort though. If you reach out to your authority figures, they might give you a new idea, and around 14th or 15th of the month, you might get an additional information from an authority figure, or you might get an additional input from somebody at work on how to handle this project better going forward. Similarly, if you're looking to change career because the existing environment is not making you happy, this is the time when you get the clarity that this is not for you, or this is for you, or this is the way you like your leadership style to grow going forward or not. This is the time to get clarity on things by giving yourself a moment, giving yourself the perspective, and allowing yourself the space for things to not go as you planned. Because when Mercury is going retrograde in the house of order, disorder does come to some extent, but disorder and chaos comes so you can realize what is not working at this point in time. It's not a period, I feel, where you'll feel unsettled because of that, because Venus is supporting you. You have a lot of support both from Venus and Jupiter right now. So it's not like things are going badly. It's just that there is something additional, a quality element, an additional information that you need at this time to make it more authentic, to make it more, to have sort of more satisfaction in what you're doing as well. And this is the area where we have the new moon of 6th of March, which will start a new phase. It could be that a new energy, a new information will come in coming days, or a new project starts which is more authentic to you. But as I said, officially announcing or signing on anything, it's better to do it in April. But some new piece of information will come in coming days, especially around, I believe, 14th of March, when you understand that there is a new phase in your career, a new phase in the job that you're doing, or a new phase in the project that that you're part of that is starting up. Similarly, you feel new impetus to start something in your health routine, and it is the right time to do it. When Pluto and Saturn, they're both squaring us, our health gets compromised, and Neptune is in your house of health as well. So the clarity on what is the issue, why are we not feeling physically so vital, that happens around that time. So this is the time when you want to bring order to your health for sure, especially Saturn and Pluto squaring you around 18 to 22 degree. You feel it. You feel it very, very strongly. This is especially true if you have planets between 18 to 24 degree. So if you have planets around 18 to 24 degree, which means you're born around 11th of October to 17th of October, you might feel the pressure of Saturn and Pluto on your health right now. It can reduce vitality to some extent. It can make us feel, it can test our health routines essentially. So at this point in time, lay down the groundwork that is required, and you'll feel the strength in your core to follow through as well as a result of the aspects these planets are making to you. So this is the first key element that is happening in terms of just 2 additional notes on health. I think from and you should consult a doctor or a medical practitioner to gain more insight, but usually if there are health issues that are there, or you feel physically not so vital, usually vitamin C and B5 are the reasons with Neptune and Pisces. So looking at if vitamin is low, and there might be more reaction to chemicals. So if the food that you're consuming has more antibiotics in it, or it has more chemical exposure in it, or you're taking some sort of antibiotic which reacts more with you, these could be hidden reasons for feeling a little bit not so active, because adrenals are a little bit compromised in these cases, and Neptune tends to sort of seep in and reduce some vitamins and minerals from our body. It leaches minerals from our body. So get yourself tested. B5 is very easy to get. Vitamin C is very easy to get. Usual food should have that, but just an attention to the diet, and if we are getting the requisite minerals and vitamins from it, it's a great idea to get checked. But do not have a health check in this month. When Mercury is retrograde in your house of health, we do not trust the data right now. We do not get tests done right now. Tests should be done in the next month if required, but not right now. Right now, just research, figure out what to do, try to tune into your body to figure, and your body will speak louder than before. If you give yourself the time right now with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, our inner inner voice is sort of louder than the outer voice. If we tune into our body will talk. So it will tell you what are the issues, or if there are any health issues that it's facing right now. Then the second key change that is happening, which is happening on 6th of March, and it will continue till 2026. So it's a 7-year transit. That is Uranus, the great awakener, the planet of sudden changes. It is moving in your 8th house of joint resources and intimacy. It is moving into a house where an innovation, a freedom, a change, a shift is required, and that is exactly what it will give you. If the intimacy in your joint relationship has been stale, or it is not up to the mark, or it is not to the depth that you want, or the overall emotional depth in the relationship you are in currently, it is not there. Uranus wants to shake things up over there and add more intimacy, add more excitement into your personal relationship. This is an excellent aspect to have if you're looking to sort of change things up a little bit, have excitement, have more desire, have more intimacy in your personal life. It sort of reignites the passion that is there, and it progresses the relationship to the next level by making it more authentic. And the second thing that it works on is joint finances, because Uranus in the 8th house of joint finances wants you to become more independent financially. So if there has been any debt, there has been any loan, there has been any money that has been taken from other sources, or you're dependent on somebody financially, Uranus wants to give you opportunities to come out of that situation. It wants you to claim your independence financially. So it sort of is the place where we are given the confidence to come out of a situation where we thought we would not, and a lightning bolt, an idea comes to us where we are able to sort of get out of the current situation by not fearing it anymore. We do not get afraid about changing something in our life when Uranus comes over there. It gives us the confidence and the impetus to change things up over there. And this is happening in a fixed sign. So there is a fixity, there is a staleness, there is an old thing which is sitting over there which has not been touched for ages, where Uranus wants to shake things up. It wants to come and create a new energy, a fresh energy. It wants to infuse freedom, excitement, and a fresh innovation in the area of how you make money. How do you get money from other sources beyond your job? It could be through commission, it could be through investment in markets, it could be through special talents like occult talents. So here the different side of us, the deeper side of us is channeled and comes out. So if you have had interest in astrology or in any occult topic or something that you want to research deeply into, Uranus gives you the confidence and the faith to go for it. It is about removing, unplugging something that was stopping you from making a change in this area of your life, which deals with intimacy, which deals with gaining more depth in relationship, which deals with creating more resources for you out of the ordinary, out of the regular job, outside the normal realm of things. And it wants you to become independent both in your personal and professional life, because Uranus in the house of transformation wants to empower you. It wants to wake you up to your inner power and tell you that you are enough yourself. So in the way you connect with your partner, in the way you connect with both your business partner or your marriage partner, that will undergo change, because you sort of gain more depth by becoming independent here. There's a new way of being in the relationship, and the last 7 years you have been having an innovation in your partnership itself, because Uranus was in your house of partnership. So your partnership, or the way you relate to your partner, whether it is your marriage partner or your marriage partner himself or herself, has changed. And that has brought out a new perspective about what you want in a partnership, both in a business as well as in a personal partnership. And now is the time to reap the benefits of it, reap the rewards of it, reap the proceeds of this innovation in relationship, in form of intimacy, which is redefined, in form of joint finances, which are redefined in a new way. You are adding a nuance to an area which was left unattended for some time, and that brings out a shift in resources, especially joint resources with your partner. Or it could also bring about shift in intimacy, or the depth, the sexual intimacy that you have with your partner, the innovation in that, and the inhibition going away, and even the desire to have a sexual intimate relationship goes up at this point in time, especially in Taurus. We try new things here. But the thing to be careful about the Taurus is that, because Taurus is a stable sign, it is a conventional sign, and Uranus is anything away from convention. So when unconventional meets convention, we have to take care of both the things. We have to make sure that if we are going into a new investment, we are going into creating a new source of income which is away from our job, there is careful planning in that, because the acts of freedom and the acts of individuality are very much favored and even required with Uranus going there. But planning and some tangible practical eye to the end result is required as well, because individuality is favored but not impatience or lack of planning. That is not favored with Taurus being there. Uranus in Taurus is about creating something which is long lasting for you, which is based on innovation, which is based on change, which is you looking beyond normal in terms of your financial destiny. And when we do that, we need to be careful in terms of what are we getting in the end. There needs to be a strategic plan about it. There needs to be something quantitative that we are working towards. This cannot be pie in the sky idea. When Uranus was in Aries, we could have a lot of startups starting up and everything going in. When Uranus is in Taurus, that innovation needs to find its grounding. It needs to find its basis. And we will see that in the world events. Even when Uranus was last in Taurus, which was in 1934, about 70, 80 years back, that was the time when SEC was instituted. That was the day when Uranus first touched into Taurus. That was the day SEC was instituted. For those of you who know, SEC is responsible for regulating all trading platforms in the United States. That is where NASDAQ comes. That's where any of the other exchanges come. And it was constituted not to restrict activity. It was constituted because the government wanted more investors to invest into the economy, to participate into the market. So you are required to increase your wealth, but in a manner where you have some grounding there, you have some rules being followed over there, you understand that you're part of a framework, and then you're creating value. So there needs to be a more measured approach, a more well-planned approach to finances as a part of that. And in order to get ahead of this energy, I'll request you to look at your finances, look at the loans that you have, look at the insurance policy you have, look at your will, look at any inheritance matter, look at your taxes. These are the areas we need to get ahead of the game in, get a proper planning going in terms of our taxes, inheritance, loans, alimony, inheritance, these areas, the sources of income and your partner's resources. If you're in a partnership with somebody, like if you're in a business partnership, how is that money shared with that partner? These are the areas or sources of income which are beyond, say, salary from a organization that you work for. So this is the extra money, this is the cherry on the top that you need to reform and find innovation in. And this, you have to understand that if your partner is undergoing changes, for example, in this situation, it is very much possible that the financial destiny of your partner is changing, the way they earn money is changing. So that causes a bit of fluctuation in joint finances. Where Uranus is there will be fluctuations. So there'll be spurts of money that comes in for your partner, or comes through a partnership that you're part of, or there are spurts in which you earn money through sources other than your job, maybe through investment in something, you earn money, but there are spurts of that. So when there's spurts and fluctuations in that, what we need to be careful about is that we put it away. When we earn it, we save it. When we earn it, we save it. Because when Uranus is in this area, that money comes and goes fast. So the guidance is that when the money comes, in some cases, clients are sort of suggested based on their natal chart that there might be an auto sweep in the account. So when the money is coming in, 60-70% of it, or whatever you're comfortable with, that is saved away somewhere. So there needs to be sort of a plan in place financially. The other thing this does is the physical transformation, because Uranus is in the house of rebirth, transformation. Actual transformation of your physical being might start right now, and you might try to detox in terms of your diet, leaving something away. You're looking to maybe transform the way you look, and those ideas start coming in the coming months, because Uranus will be direct till August. So I think these new ideas will start coming in now, and you'll start looking at the validity of them, whether they make sense for you or not. But this is the direction in which I think we should get ahead of the game and start instituting and start thinking in that direction. This is a very deep house, so there is some depth which is introduced beyond what you have right now. There's some amount of rawness in this aspect. There's a chord which is stuck here because you're being asked to detach yourself from dependency on others here. When Uranus goes into 8th house, we are being taught the lesson that everybody and anybody else comes and goes, but your core remains stable. You are being taught the lesson of self-reliance to some extent. And this, Libra, you are a relationship sign. You are a relationship sign. You always believe in relationships. You always believe in people working together, which is the part of your charm, which is the part of the beauty that you bring to every relationship, every partnership. But with the Uranus going in a house which has nothing in common with you, because this house has nothing in common with you. This is a Scorpio house. It has nothing in common with you. It's a house of a very different type as compared to you, because this is a fixed water house, and you are a air sign who's mutable, who's cardinal, who likes new things, initiate new things and stuff like that. So this is a different, this will feel different. It will feel different. It will feel a bit out of character to do things here, but you are being taught a lesson to imbibe the qualities of a different sign into your approach, a independence of sort, a sort of a way of being which teaches you to realize the core power within yourself, which does not involve a second person. And it doesn't mean that we are leaving people behind. There's a different way of being in which we have relationships, but we are not dependent on them for our survival. And I think we all strive to do that. But with the Uranus in 8th house, you're sort of being given the impetus to implement it in your life. And there's a strong intuition, a complete different sense. This is like another sense that we did not have. A new sense comes, and surprising events in your life, they will ask you to stand up to the moment, to show this power. The last time Uranus entered into Taurus last year, because last year briefly from May to November, Uranus entered Taurus and then it went back into Aries. So it just briefly entered there, just to give a sampler, in May of 2018. You can look back to see what was sort of woken up in May of 2018 all the way to November, and that was like a sampler of what was happening. That was the time when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who I quote quite often just purely because she's a visible figure and she's a Libra, and she has Pluto currently aspecting her sun, so she's a good example for me to use as a case study. I not in any political way, but looking at AOC, she was elected in May or June through a surprise event. So these surprising events which sort of ask you to show your strength, which ask you to show your power, they will happen, and they will show up in future in your life. So you are being sort of prepared for that, and this releasing this fear to change, and the fact that you'll be asked to display your power beyond what you do normally, because you like to bring people along, and this is about individual power. So you're being asked to sort of take a risk on yourself, on your strength here, and this is being supported with Pluto, Saturn, South Node in your core, in your house of foundations. You're fundamentally being transformed and given more power to operate in a leadership position here. So this is what I would suggest to get ahead of. This is a 7-year transit, so there'll be things which will happen over the course of time, but when it just enters, you feel it in your core, and there's a need which comes to act, and urge is felt in this direction to act. And this could be in form of you wanting to suddenly invest in something. You might want to invest in something, you suddenly feeling, oh, I need more depth in my relationship, I need more intimacy. You will feel the need to act out in that. You'll feel like jazzing up something in your life, and you need to keep note of those instincts. What are the changes, what are the need for changes that are coming to you, because those are required. Similarly, detox. Use it in your favor. Detox yourself at this point in time. Start something. You can leave something. If there's an addiction that you might have before, this is about cutting ties from anything that you're too attached to. So cutting ties with a food item, with a person who you're not able to sort of detox out of your life, and they're dragging you down. This is something that is dragging you down, which needs to be cut. So you gain more power in your business partnership, in your relationships, and the way you are as a leader. Thing to look out for from health perspective, because Uranus and Taurus in the 8th house is about taking care of your health as well. You want to be careful about your thyroid gland, especially if you have a previous position, because the thyroid gland gets irritated when Uranus moves into Taurus. So just being a little bit, this doesn't mean that we develop an issue, but if we have one, we need to be careful when Uranus is strong like that. If you have a thyroid condition, I will request you to be a little bit careful in this month and the next month right now, and just take the preventive steps in terms of not letting it get overstimulated. Then the third big change which is happening in April actually, but I want to talk about it here because we'll start feeling that from 14th of this month or the middle of this month, which is Pluto and South Node. They're coming together in your foundation house, and this is happening in April. I have spoken about it in the last couple of videos. This is a year which is very unique to you because Pluto, South Node and Saturn, they're first time ever coming together. We do not even have the history of how long back they were together, maybe around 14th or 15th of century, but not in recent times. In any of our lifetimes, we have not seen that. They coming together, there is some karma that is getting burned off, some core identity change that is happening for you, and this is happening in order for you to be able to come up to the power. There's a determination, a confidence, a power of assertion, self-assertion. You have been feeling that in your core, and I would really doubt if you haven't. If you ask yourself, there is a shift in who you are as a person, because Pluto transforms our foundations, who and what we are from our upbringing. It sort of shifts us from there. If you see the people, again, the public, because your sign is the sign of celebrities. So most of the celebrities in the industry, they are either Pisces or they're Librans. So because you're a popular leadership sign, Libras are universally liked by people. So being that kind of person who can bring people along and relationships along, you are changing from your foundation to be more powerful in that situation, where you do not compromise your interest as you merge with the people, as you become a leader, as you lead an organization, as you go into a new situation. There are examples in politics. Kamala Harris is a Libra, AOC is a Libra. They're coming from background which are different from what they're doing right now. They're being asked to move away from their old situations, the old conditioning that they have, to rise up to the occasion. And similar feeling you'll feel, because there'll be changes, I feel, in the month of March and April, which will happen in your career, which will put you in the spotlight for you to come out of any inhibition, any fears, any lack of faith you have in your ambition and your ability to display your leadership skills to the world. That has got to go, and that you'll be able to release, I feel, because of the circumstances that will show up. Because South Node cuts us off in a very polite way. It cuts us off from anything that does not serve us, and Pluto does the same thing. And they're coming together. They have a energy of cutting us away from the old, cutting us away from anything that is not serving us. So sticking to something which is holding our kite down. This is like the thread of the kite. The kite is flying in your 10th house of career. It wants to fly higher, and the thread is normally tied in our foundation, in our home, family, conditioning, the way we have been brought up, the way we have been told what we can or cannot deliver on, what we can do. All that lifetime of conditioning is sitting at the base, and the knot is there, and that knot gets snipped off and you fly higher. So there is a snipping, I think, happening in the month of April, which you start feeling as you review your approach to work, as you review what you're doing in terms of your career, and that kite starts flying high from this moment. This is a moment we've been waiting for. This is a moment we've been talking about, because this aspect will be live during the July eclipses. So it is important to pay attention to, in terms of what are you being asked to leave behind. This could be a pattern of behavior. This could be a place of living. This could be a way you are in partnerships that is being asked to leave behind, because your personal way of behaving, this is your inner world, this is your roots, your foundation, your deep personal conviction, which is changing right now. This is very much the ground, the foundation you stand on, and there's an intensity, there's an obsessiveness almost, which is felt to make this change. In terms of mundane matters, there might be some changes required in the actual place of living as well. So I would request you to get ahead of that. Look at plumbing in your house. Get checked. If you own a property, check the plumbing. Check what is below the surface in your house. If it's a home with a ground on it, check getting that checked, because there's something in the foundation of the house that needs your attention, the physical actual house as well. So being a little bit careful from plumbing perspective, declutter your home, remove the things that are not serving you in the house. Truly, I would suggest you this month, and that's why the title of the reading, I would truly request you, if you have a Netflix account, or if you don't, just look on the internet, look at the documentary and the movie and some of the episodes of Marie Kondo of Life. Marie Kondo is a Japanese organizer and consultant, and she truly teaches us how to organize a house. I mean, she's written 4 books on it. How much can you write on organizing your closet? But she has, because she has a different approach. There's an old Japanese technique of decluttering our life from the things that are not serving us emotionally. And that's why I thought of your sign when I looked at that, because you are being asked to declutter the things that are not serving you emotionally. So there's a declutter, physical level declutter, I feel, that is required as part of that. It could be in your diet as well. It could be in your house. Pluto rules your money houses. So your money, your monetary gains and confidence in your talents is dependent on you being able to leave something behind and move forward. And you'll find that when Pluto is involved, we find the strength to do it. And when Saturn is involved, we find the strength to create a new pattern as well, which is long lasting. So these are not short-term changes. These are long-term changes, long-standing, powerful changes that are being introduced to you. And you can get ahead of that. It's in April, so start working on it, I feel, in this month, as Mercury retrograde gives you more insight into what's happening. So these are the 3 long-standing patterns, I feel, which I needed to talk about. The rest of the month is fairly simple. I'll just talk about it and go over it by dates with you. The most significant is your full moon that is happening around 20th of the month. But let's go into the rest of the month now. Sorry, before we get into it, I just wanted to point out that the degrees at which Pluto and Saturn are currently operating is 18 degree and 22 degree. So if you're born between 11th of October to 17th of October, especially 15th of October, this energy of Pluto, Saturn, South Node, you'll feel it most potently. Be careful of your health, detox something. There's something that needs to be given up for you to be able to be successful in your career. So the opportunities that the July eclipse will bring to you in terms of the success in your career, there is a precursor to letting something go for that, and that is happening as part of this. This has to do with your foundation. It has to do with maybe even the place of living or the way you are in your family structure. Maybe there is a restructure in the way you deal with your family, which is not letting you have the amount of time that is required, or a change in terms of how you respect yourself in other relationships, how much respect you receive in that, and how much space and voice and time you give to yourself in partnerships. So there's a possibility because of that, a power struggle to also happen in the family life. So being careful about how we're using this power, because you'll feel very ambitious, very strong this month, all the way till next month. So are we using that in a positive fashion? Because we are trying to make relationships work in a positive manner. This is not about snapping out of relationships. This is about changing them so they support you. They become the basis of your future growth, essentially. And Saturn being there, there's a karma, there's some hard work required to make them work to the level that you want them to be at. So let's dig into the rest of the month. From 10th of March, with Mars and Neptune working together from this weekend itself, things will start looking more positive. There's more harmony that comes when Mars and Neptune are working together. It sort of softens our approach and the approach of other people towards us. This is also the time, this weekend especially, around 10th of March, you might get new financial ideas and how to practically implement them. There might be some insights of financial matters that might come around 10th of March, which might be very meaningful for you, and it might be very inspirational, very forward-looking, and if you should give yourself the time and the energy, and to some extent the research required to get into them. Now, from a financial investment perspective this month, because Mercury is retrograde, most of the astrologers, including myself, have suggested to hold back if possible, in anything new. But the thing for your sign, Libra, is that Venus, your ruler, is in your house of speculative gains, and Jupiter is positively aspecting that as well. So I do feel that there might be some opportunities for trading, for investment that might come up, which are worth your time. Just do the groundwork required for it and make sure that those ideas are coming from you and not from outside you, especially not from co-workers. They're coming from your own research work, and you've done the groundwork for it before you go forward for it. Then from 11th to 15th of March, I feel that is when the month takes a very powerful turn, because we have Sun and Pluto coming together on 13th of March, and then we have Mercury and Pluto coming together on 16th of March. These are very powerful energies, and they're coming together to give you clarity. They're coming together to give you strength and ambition. So if there was anything that was stuck in work, in terms of a project not moving forward, or the co-workers not supporting you, or something not moving forward, this gives you the strength, the power, the ambition, as well as the clarity required to move forward. There's a determination, positivity, and to some extent over the top confidence that comes at this point in time, which helps you push through. So the blockage is removed, I feel, around 14th of March, when Sun and Mercury come together, and that is an epiphany moment. There is a clarity that comes through, an important missing piece of information comes through. It could be through a co-worker, it could be through a person of authority. Maybe an authority figure approves your project, approves your change in job, approves your forward movement in the career, and something flows more easily after that. Even from a from a financial perspective, as I was saying, Mars is in your house of financial resources. So Mars and Pluto are coming together on 20th of this month. So if you have been looking to sort of research on something or invest in something, 17th to 22nd of March, I feel certain new financial ideas, very powerful financial ideas, will come to you. At the very least, you feel charged up to take action. This is a very high confidence part of the month, especially 13th of this month, 16th of this month, 20th of this month. These are power days. These are the days when you'll feel very powerful to charge forward and make a change. These are the dates when some difficult tasks should be handled. 13th, 16th, 20th of the month, a difficult discussion with a coworker, a difficult discussion with a supervisor, a difficult discussion in terms of you getting over a hump in terms of a relationship issue, even to some extent. For example, intimacy. 20th of this month is beautiful. It's probably one of the sexiest days we have had in a very long time, because your ruler Venus in the house of romance is meeting with Mars in the house of intimacy. If there was ever a day to go on a hot date, I can say that 20th of the month is the day for it, because we are shifting gears on 20th of the month, when the vernal equinox is there and the season changes and the Aries season starts. The focus shifts into your partnerships, into your committed partnerships, into your business partnerships, and there is a new start that is coming ahead as a part of that. But before we get into your partnerships, just 3 hours after Sun enters Aries in your house of partnership, there's a full moon that happens in your sign that floods a light on you. There's a spotlight on you from 20th or 21st of March all the way to 5th or 6th of April. Somehow in some situation you're put in spotlight. It could be in terms of something at work where you're given the recognition, or you're being asked to step up on something, or you're being asked to sort of deliver on something. And this is a very positive full moon in your sign that is happening on 21st of the month, because your ruler Venus is making a beautiful aspect with Jupiter, the planet of luck, and they're coming together with Jupiter sitting in your commercial house. They're enhancing the commercial value of something that you're doing. It's enhancing the commercial value of an investment that you might be looking at. It is giving you new ideas and opportunities to enhance more value in what you're doing. And this is very beneficial for both your business partnership as well as for your committed relationship. You'll see a new phase of excitement start from there, especially if you're in a committed relationship with a partner. Maybe they're in Aries too. So looking at that, I mean, because usually Libra, they pair up with the opposite sign, which is Aries. But if not, whosoever is your partner, I mean, this is a beautiful culmination of something. And from a work perspective, it could be something that you've been working on for the last 6 months, and that comes full circle, and you get recognition for that. You get a culmination of that. We have this happening at 1 degree or 0 degree of Libra. We've been having all the moons this year, in fact for the last 6 months, at 0 or 1 degree of the signs. This is a mark of the 6-month chapter coming to closure, and this is the last super moon of the year. Super moon is when moon is closest to earth, and so our emotional chords and the impact of that full moon on us personally, physically, is very significant. So, and you'll feel it the most, especially if you're born on a cusp between Virgo and Libra. You'll feel it very, very strongly. But overall, because of the degree, it's a critical degree at which this full moon is happening. So all of you, in my view, will feel it. A sense of culmination of something, a phase coming to an end. This is a degree of chase of a beautiful dream, a very idealistic, a degree of perfect form, a perfect ending to something that you started 6 months back happens here. This is in symbolic astrology, it is shown as a perfect butterfly impaled by a fixed dart. So there's a fixation of beauty, sort of a vision of beauty that is presented in front of us, but it has come at a cost. It has come at a cost of you shedding some skin, you sort of getting rid of a way of being, you being comfortable in being in the spotlight, you being comfortable in voicing your full point of view, not hiding behind the crowd, being ready to be in the spotlight. And that is a cost at which it comes. You will be in focus for the next 1 month because you have full moon at the end of next month as well in your sign. There'll be a lot of focus on who you are as a leader and your delivery, and culmination of something that you've been working on to get to the next level in your career happens as a result of that. On 21st of the month, we have Venus and Jupiter working together, and then on 22nd of month, Sun meets Chiron. So there is some amount of healing of a partnership that happens, especially in your love relationship. If you are in a marriage partnership, there's a next phase of healing of your marriage, of your committed relationships, I feel. And first the wound is displayed. Where is the gap? Where is the healing required in that partnership? That is displayed. This is also the time when the balance between you and your partner comes to light. How balanced, how much are you both giving each other space and the attention in your partnership, that comes to light as well as part of this full moon, because there's the sun is sitting at 0 degree Aries in your partnership sector, and moon is sitting in you. So there's an opposition between your needs and your partner's need, and a balancing of the two required that comes to light during this full moon. But you're starting a healing practice. You're starting a sort of a phase in which you and your partner come in harmony and more depth as a part of this full moon, I feel. And then at the end of the month, we have your sign, your ruler Venus, moving into your house of health and work. So if there were issues in a project that were previously there, your ruler helps resolve that. And Mercury goes direct in the same area on 28th of March. So next month, the first couple of days, you'll feel that things are moving fast in that direction. Things just get resolved. With Mars moving into Gemini as well, you're looking to sort of get something to completion at this stage. You start working, and Mars is going to go into a positive aspect with you, which means that you feel the vitality to complete something. You feel that you have the energy required to complete something, and there might be some new ideas, financial ideas for your work that come through, because Uranus is making an aspect to Venus on 27th of the month. So there might be some new ideas, innovative ideas on what to make, what to change in terms of both your diet and work that will give you more power, more value. Those ideas will come through as well. So we have a beautiful end of the month. I wish you luck, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in April. Thank you, Libra.